Right, this morning we're going to do mainly breakfast things, and the first thing we're going to cook for breakfast is called porridge. In it we're going to put oats, but you could put other types of grains or flakes as well. We're going to fortify it with some protein powder, and then we're going to get some essential fats in there with pumpkin seeds and linseeds. And then finally, for additional energy and antioxidant nutrition, we're going to use a mixture of blueberries and raisins. And we're going to just sprinkle some cinnamon on top, which will help you process all that sugar. So this virtually prepares itself. You need approximately 50 grams of oats, just a serving of whey protein, and you can use whatever flavour you want. This one's strawberry, and then you add your seeds, and you can put the dried fruit. I normally put the dried fruit and cinnamon in at the end. You can use a little bit of cinnamon while you're cooking it through as well. And then you can either use water or goat's milk just to mix that up. Then we'll get that on the burner. That should take 3 to 5 minutes to cook. Just keep stirring it while it's cooking so it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan or get too gloopy. Okay, and if it's too hot to eat, then you can add the frozen blueberries and it cools it down nicely. And you can also put yogurt in it as well if you fancy that. This is a classic spin on an old favourite, an egg and bean on toast, but what we're doing is we're sourcing the very highest ingredients for each component. So the bread is homemade from spelt flour, the baked beans are organic with nothing artificial added, and the eggs are special omega eggs. And that's it. We're going to poach the egg. I'm just going to quickly show you how to do that if you didn't already know. The way to do that, you get a pan of boiling water. Sneaky trick is you put a tiny bit of vinegar in there, because that just stops the egg splitting apart too much. You get that up to a good temperature. This is homemade spelt bread, and we're going to give you the recipe so you can do that as well. So that's nearly boiling now. The water should be really nice and hot so the egg doesn't split apart too much. That water wasn't quite hot enough. It's not the best poached egg in the world. What do you reckon to that?
Put it down.
Yeah?
Lovely. Perfect.
So homemade muesli needs to have some nuts, dried fruit but not too much dried fruit, and then some high protein grains and flakes like quinoa flakes, millet flakes. You can get barley flakes, spelt flakes, you can even get oat flakes, and you can put some natural oats through that, and you can even use some nut flours as well. So what you want to look for is a difference between the crunchy flakes, softer grains like jumble rolled porridge oats, and then the sweetness and the crunchiness of the nuts and the fruit, and that will combine nicely into a homemade muesli. And you know, as you're making it yourself, you can increase or decrease any of the components according to your preferences and your activity levels. So I've added a bit of cinnamon in there, and what we're going to do now is just blend the ingredients so we soften down some of the larger nuts and stuff like that, so it's a bit easier to eat as well. You can actually mix that with honey and a little bit of a healthy oil, and just break it into little segments and put it in the oven and just crisp it off, and you can make your own crunchy. It's quite nice sometimes.